Hey y'all, my name's Megan. I'm a homeschool mom of two, and welcome to my channel. Look how cute these little tea infusers are. Oh my gosh, he's a squirrel and look at his little tail. Oh, tasty, tasty. You're welcome, because ladies of a certain age, that song will be in your brain for the rest of the week. For real though, it's an issue. In today's video, I am going to share with you guys a few books that I've used in our homeschool to teach and discuss evolution. As we go through these books, I am going to tell you what age group I think the books are most appropriate for, how you might use them, and kind of poke at the strengths and weaknesses of each one. And in addition, I'm pretty much just like, I have a book problem. Everybody else raise your hand. And I'm ready to get contagious. Ugh. No, too soon. That didn't. I also want to say that I know it can be kind of difficult to find really good evolution resources for teaching your kiddos, or in picture books or things like that. I've gone through the libraries, especially for me, because I'm in a really rural, we have a very small library. And because of that, the resources that specifically speak to evolution or natural selection can be a little tough to get your hands on. So this past summer, I actually went through kind of a crazy Amazon buying spree for these resources, and I have others, but the ones that I want to show you today are ones that I really think are worth it, that are like good. Let's get into it. Okay, y'all, the first book that I want to share with you guys is called One Day a Dot, and this is by Ian Lendler. Now, this text is really basic. We're not getting into natural selection, cell organelles, anything like that. But it does a great job of introducing the beginnings of the universe, right? Describing it as a dot and creating a narrative that ties all the way to humankind. Now, I'm going to show you the illustrations and tell you why I think they're really cool. So like I said, the text is super simple, but each page with the illustrations is going to give you that opportunity for further discussion, such as like the fall of the dinosaurs, if you will, fossils, why mammals survived. It gives you a lot within those simple pages. Now, to me, the coolest part of the book is that it brings the story full circle, get it, reference, to the development of the human brain, and that we really are, to our knowledge, to be the only species that has contemplated like the origins of life and the origins of the universe. How cool is that? I would definitely say that this book is for really appropriate for your younger readers, maybe 5 to 7. You could use this with your younger kiddos, but if you're really starting to have those conversations about evolution, natural selection, Big Bang, this is a great introductory text. You could even use this with older kiddos if you were per se bringing it out as a picture book, sort of introduction to a larger unit or discussion on evolution. The next book that I want to share with you guys is called Our Family Tree, an Evolution Story, and this is by Lisa Westberg Peters. You guys, this book is just so beautiful, and I'm definitely going to be showing you the inside, but I want to have a little discussion for just a moment. I think that for a lot of us, we avoid romanticizing the idea of evolution. And you know what? I really do think that's because we want to remain clinical or scientific. And although I totally believe that we need to keep the conversations and discussions of evolution rooted in good science, I think when we keep it totally sterile, we lose the beauty of evolution. And this book just does a fabulous job of capturing the wonder of evolution. Unlike One Day a Dot, Our Family Tree really focuses on the evolution of humankind as a species. And it really does this by building a narrative that discusses the evolution of humanity as a family tree, our family tree. The illustrations are done in a style that I just really respond to, and I had a difficult time choosing just 1 or 2 pages to show you. Hence the reason that I included the little be-reel of the whole thing. But this gets a lot more specific. It starts to discuss things like backbone, invertebrate versus vertebrate, warm-bloodedness, the development of fingers, and again, just so many opportunities for organic and natural discussion, not only through the text itself, but also through the illustrations and the images. If this book couldn't get any cozier, the book includes, I'm trying to get myself and the book, really great glossary that goes into a little bit more in depth the illustrations and terms mentioned or alluded to in the story. And it also includes a timeline of our family tree and does a really great job of emphasizing the slow pace or time required for evolution to occur. Now, this is a great book for little kiddos, but I would have to say that it is pretty long. So the attention span of those learners might be a little bit pushed to its limit, but you could break it up into smaller sections and read it over a time, like a longer time period. I would really say it works best for ages probably 8 to 12, especially if you're using it as a supplement to a larger conversation on evolution, especially if you're using the glossary in the back, which you should because it's real cool. Okay, the next book that I want to share with you guys is called Life Story, the story of life on Earth from its beginning up to now. And this is by Virginia Lee Burton. And before we even get into this book, I need to take just a moment to talk to you, actually to fangirl on Virginia Lee Burton for just a moment. She's an absolutely incredibly interesting artist, mother, woman, and her work really, there's just a ton of super famous books that you guys have probably read that she wrote and illustrated, including Calico the Wonder Horse. She did Katie the Snowplow, and like, what is it called? Like Little House? I don't know, I'm sure I'm inserting pictures of them up here. Anyways, the illustrations throughout this entire book are just the work of a master. Clearly someone who knew what they were doing. The entire book is presented like a play, so it actually begins by giving you a program or a playbill for all of the actors in the story. And it's really neat because it actually helps to organize it for you as the educator because it is divided into different eras, as well as giving you the key leading animals and leading plants that are included in the text. It is really, I mean, gosh, you guys, it is just so truly beautiful. Before I go any further, let me just show you one of the illustrations. Just so beautiful, like so rich. So like, excuse me if I'm just like getting way nerding out when describing this book. Now, I would really suggest that you read this book in several sittings because it is rather long, but also because the illustrations are just so complex and rich in detail that you could spend, seriously, easily 5 to 10 minutes on each page just having a conversation about all of the detail within the illustrations. And that's just classic Virginia Lee Burton, all right? This is a great book for older readers, especially as you're going through all of the different eras and stages of evolution. But it would also just make a wonderful, like, perusal book to keep for littler kids because you can just flip through and find all of the things and the detail to go into and discuss. And of course, as you get towards the end of the book, like, be ready to cry, you guys, because she definitely captures that sort of wonder element in evolution, bringing the whole existence of the universe back to the individual. And that is just so beautiful. I can't speak highly enough about the illustrations present in this book. And like I said, just so rich and so much detail to look at and peruse. So again, like 10 out of 10. Okay, we're down to the last book that I want to share with you guys, and that is called Amazing Evolution, The Journey of Life, and this is by Anna Claiborne. I have mentioned this book before, but it is just so wonderful. And out of all of the books that I've shared with you today, this is probably the most textbooky, although I'd never say that it was as rich in intricate detail to be called that. It is structured similarly. It has 4 chapters, an additional appendix, right? And it goes into, dare I say, like all of the elements of evolution and natural selection. Wonderful illustrations in this book as well, and it really starts by answering the basic questions of what is evolution and just takes off from there. The thing that really impresses me about this book is the amount of detail that it includes, but also that it brings up all of these different elements of evolution and natural selection that really just didn't occur to me to discuss. And I'm going to give you an example. So in these pages, which it's labeled as Evolution in Action, it goes over the relationship that has developed between plants and pollinators and discussing how this sort of relationship evolved through natural selection and how it begins and how it works. And so I thought that that was really interesting that it goes into that sort of detail. It also includes an entire section on the development of eyeballs, selective breeding, and how that has created a sort of evolution / not natural selection in dogs, cats, stock animals. It is just really, really rich in that detail. And plus, you guys, like just the illustrations alone, I can flip to any of the pages and they're just really colorful, really detailed. This is one that you can pull out just as a read along, like in the mornings. If you do a morning basket, this would be a great choice for a flip through. Also just one of those things that you could just bring open and have a conversation about any of the things that you find inside. Because of that, I'm really going to say that this is an all age group, but if you are really beginning a more scientific discussion of evolution, I think this could be a big winner. Okay, you guys, that's all I have for you today. I know this was a super simple video, but I do find that finding resources for secular homeschoolers can be difficult. So I wanted to share with you guys some really cool treasures that I found. And of course, I want to hear from you guys in the comments all of the books that you would suggest for fostering a discussion on evolution in our homeschools. So you know what I'm going to say, right? Is it perfect? No, baby. And it was never gonna be. But is it done? Yeah, for today, it is. So until next time, bye! Surprise bonus dance break! If you stay to the end, this is what you get. You're welcome! Happy homeschooling!